Never stop improving. Go from zero to hero over the course of a weekend by watching our entire Blueprint conference. Only available on the Josh Vegan membership. As a great real estate agent, you work out that there's two things you can do. One, you can have branding campaigns, or the second thing that you can have is conversion campaigns. Now, branding campaigns is all about awareness, it's not measurable, it kind of makes you feel good and fluffy, but at the end of the day, the conversion campaigns is where all the action happens. Now let's focus on two of the most important conversion campaigns on the inside of your career. The first key one is to think about all the people that come to your open for inspections. And every single time that you meet with these people, there's a really good opportunity to find future customers in lots of different ways. Now, the reality of it is that most of us are going to go through an open for inspection callback, maybe a 10-day callback, and maybe a just sold callback, if you're really following the systems. But sometimes you get patchy, you get busy, maybe sometimes you even get lazy, and you don't do all of those parts in the process, and you actually miss a number of leads. And so the challenge here is that maybe if you're calling customers and you're finding that some of those buyers are a little bit flakier in the callbacks, or you're only actually getting to speak to 50% of those people, then it's really important that, particularly if you've got some of the lower numbers at your open homes, that you're getting as much information as you can out of the customer. So if you think about measurement, what are the ultimate measurements that you really want to get at the end of doing your open for inspection callbacks by the Monday? Well, hopefully either at the open home or during the call, you have identified who the people are that are actually owners, who the people are that are actually first home buyers, and who the people are that are landlords. And landlords in our world are people that are what we call a 2-for-1, 2 properties for 1 relationship. AKA, they've got an investment property and they've also got a home that they live in. And our job is to be able to work with both of them around those particular situations to see whether or not we might be able to help them to upgrade their existing principal place of residence, or maybe do something with their investment property and allowing them to either grow their portfolio, become a buyer, or potentially sell and exchange their portfolio for something else that's a higher returning asset. Now, this is a really important component because if you think about what you're doing at the open home, and also again in the open for inspection callback, you should then be getting some really clear results. And that would be our BAP, MAP, or LAP. So buyer appointments, market appraisals, or listing appointments. Now, all of this sounds really good, but then what we also now do to tighten the measurement, and this is the second part of the measurement, is that just when you get to the point of sold, what we actually do then is that we then go through the entire campaign and see what are the results that we've actually achieved. Because now there's the opportunity that we've also done the just sold call, and off the back of that, there might be a whole heap of opportunity that we go to create. So during the course of the campaign, what were actually the results that we achieved? How many of those people were owners? How many of them were people that were in a position that they were landlords? How many of them were in a position that they were actually looking to buy a future property from an investment perspective? How many of them were in a position that they were actually had already sold? And how many did you just not find that out? Now, recently, one of the key things that we then identified is that at the end of the campaign, we should be measuring the total number of appointments that have actually been booked out of that campaign. The number of buyer appointments, market appraisals, listing appointments again. And the reason why this is so important is that then you then start to think about what you're doing in terms of conversion. Because what we identified from studying a lot of agents is that on average, only 15% of the people that come through your open for inspections are you successfully converting into BAP, MAP, and LAPs. What would happen if you could get that up to 30%? Well, you'd double your business. And this is ultimately what conversion is all about. Learning about what's happening inside of the existing numbers so that we can actually measure them to then move into a position that we can then go to adjust. Change the dialogue that little bit. Change that last 10%. Ask that next question. Make sure that at the end of every single conversation, we've got exactly what we need in order to be able to go and help the customer. So your job is to look at measurement in 2 places. One, directly after you're open for inspection callbacks, and the second time is at the end of the campaign. And as soon as you go to put sold on that file, think about how do we actually go around our conversion campaign in selling this property. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this week's coaching tip, and I look forward to seeing you next time.